I feel like I was just out here filming the 5 tobaccos for spring video like just last week or something, but lo and behold, it's been roughly 3 months. First official day of summer is right around the corner, so I'm going to give you guys 5 tobacco blends that I think work perfectly in the summer. Now, when I think of summer blends, like a lot of pipe smokers, I think of Virginia. Not the state, Virginia tobacco. So straight Virginias, but also Virginia Pre blends. And the majority of this list is going to be that. 4 out of 5 will be either straight Virginia or Virginia Pre. But I do love English blends, and regardless of the season, I'm still smoking English blends, especially at night. So the first blend on my list is going to be an English blend. And this is a blend that I did a review on, I think about 10 months ago. And I'd been smoking it for, I don't know, it took me like a year to get through the 10 because I just had so many 10s open. And I was deciding during the review that I didn't love it. I was not going to buy another 10. But then throughout the process of filming that video, I started really enjoying it. And I've continued to enjoy it since then. And it's become definitely one of my go-tos, especially in warmer weather. I'm talking about Ashton Artisan's blend. Now, I've seen some other reviews online of Artisan's blend that mention it's a stronger blend in terms of Latakia, but for me, that is not the case. The thing that I find special about Artisan's blend is the Oriental tobacco forwardness. The Oriental tobaccos in that blend really shine, and there's this really cool incensey, kind of perfumey. At times, I've even described it as like bubble bath, but in a good way. And along with that, there's sort of like a Christmassy cinnamon sweetness, and it's something special, and it really highlights spice and incense and just all those things that you get out of, various Oriental tobaccos. And I do think that it goes perfect on a porch on a summer day, especially in the evening, and that's how I've been enjoying it lately. Now, before I move into the Virginias and Virginia Preeks, I do want to give an honorable mention to a tobacco blend that also made my spring list, because if I'm being honest, I think it works perfectly for spring and summer, maybe even better for summer, since it is released in the summer, and I'm talking about Sun Bear. Sun Bear is a special release by Cornell and Diehl. Not sure how many years it's been going. I want to say like maybe 4 years they've been releasing Sun Bear. And so far I've only tried the Tupelo, which is the release from last year, 2023. And regardless of what the release is, Sun Bear is a honey-infused aromatic tobacco. But it does not smoke like most aromatics, in my opinion, because I hate most aromatics. Sun Bear, I feel, is first and foremost a tobacco blend, and it happens to have a honey topping to it. The Tupelo that I mentioned also has a tequila topping that's added, but it's so subtle that I didn't notice it. I think it was meant just to enhance the natural flavors of the Virginias in there and also the honey, and that's exactly what it does. But it is such a wonderful treat for any time of the day, and especially with some iced tea in the summer. Yeah, Sun Bear's fantastic. At least Sun Bear Tupelo is, and I've heard nothing but wonderful things about the other releases that have come out, and I would expect this year's release to also be fantastic. So honorable mention there. All right, let's switch gears and talk about some straight Virginias. I've got two of them for you. The first one is going to be from Mac Baren's HH series, and I'm talking about HH Pure Virginia. This is one of the Virginias that I experimented with last year when I was sort of going on my Virginia journey and trying to get to know and love Virginia-based blends. And I have my notes from the first time I smoked it here that I was looking at. I saw something interesting. At one point I wrote, perhaps the most appropriate summer blend I've ever smoked. This needs to be smoked barefoot. Bold in flavor, yet refreshing. And I also wrote, immediately put another tin in my cart. At this point, I think I have like 3 or 4 tins in my little cubby that I use as my my cellar. And while Sun Bear is a honey-infused tobacco, I get notes of honey from HH Pure Virginia that come from no topping whatsoever. There's just a natural sort of honey sweetness, a nice breadiness that I get from this blend, and the culmination of those things turns into Honey Nut Cheerios for me. Very reminiscent of Honey Nut Cheerios. And then the weird thing is I get an occasional splash of fruity sweetness that straight up reminds me of Capri Sun. So there you go, HH Pure Virginia, number 2. The other straight Virginia that I have on my list is a blend that actually ended up winning my number 1 pipe tobacco of 2023. Not sure if you saw that video. I'll try to remember to link it in the description or something. And where, for me, HH Pure Virginia has that fruitiness to it that comes in every now and again, along with a sort of bready honey cereal note. This next one gives me bread, but actual bread, grass, and not honey, but honeysuckle. If you've ever had the opportunity to taste the nectar from honeysuckle flowers, I get that note on this, and I'm talking about Tolkien's favorite, Capstan Blue. If you're new to pipe tobacco, and this is one of the first videos you're watching, I can guarantee you're going to run into this blend a lot. This is one that sits near the top of a lot of people's lists because it is just a really, really solid straight Virginia. I imagine some people got into it because they knew it was Tolkien's favorite blend, but beyond that, it is just a fantastic expression of Virginia tobaccos that really just feels like home for me, and certainly something to enjoy on the porch. Before I move on to the Virginia Perique blends, I do have one more honorable mention, and the only reason I didn't put this on the list was because I just tried it for the first time a little while ago. I feel like I don't know it well enough to officially put it on the list, but just last week you might have seen my video reviewing Hamburger Veermaster, which is a German blend by Dan Tobacco, and it is also a straight Virginia, and I was really blown away by it. And the thing that was really interesting about that one was there was a pretty prominent orange note for me and some creaminess that made it feel like a creamsicle. And if a creamsicle doesn't go with summer, I don't know what does. All right, so the first Virginia Perique blend that I'm going to recommend for summer is none other than Elizabethan Mixture. Virginia Perique blends are fantastic for summer, any time of the day, I would say. I particularly enjoy them in the afternoon and in the evenings because along with all of the Virginia goodness, you get some spice, some fruit, and what is known as piquant, sort of a, I don't know, kind of a peppery note. And for me, all of those things are certainly noticeable in Elizabethan Mixture. When I smoke Elizabethan Mixture, I get a breadiness from the Virginias, but it's more moist, kind of like a Fig Newton. And the spice that I get is kind of like a ginger or a cinnamon, but more of a sensation than a taste. And then the red fruit note that I get is raspberry. Subtle, but there in the background. And in my notes here, when I originally reviewed it, I said red fruit is very subtle, but in the background, like an unsweetened raspberry tea. Might be seeing the theme here, but I really like iced tea in the summer with my tobacco. And honestly, some raspberry iced tea might go really good with Elizabethan mixture in particular. And then finally, the last blend on my list is what I'm currently smoking. And I certainly have notes on my phone to look out for that as well, but I also have the jar here, so let me just give you what I'm smelling and tasting in this moment. Purple fruit roll-up, brownies, and hay. And I would say that the hay definitely carries over into the flavor. By the way, I'm talking about GLP's Stratford. And this is a Virginia Creek blend that I just tried for the first time a couple months ago, I want to say, and I've been enjoying the heck out of it. Immediately got myself another tin. That fruit roll-up that you get in the nose, for me, expresses itself as sort of a dry cherry flavor along with the hay. And then the most prominent note for me that sits consistently throughout the smoking experience for me is another cereal, this one being honeycomb cereal. When all is said and done, smoke what you want, whenever you want. I do tend to reach for a lot more Virginia-based blends during the summer, but like I said before, I'm always smoking English blends, and I might even occasionally grab some Burley, although I usually reserve Burley blends for the fall, spring, and the winter. And there's a lot of blends I could have added to this list, but I wanted to just stick with 5 so as not to overwhelm you. But I am curious if you have anything that you would have added to the list. Let me know in the comments, and I do hope this brought some value to your day, and thanks for hanging out.